Charty works so fast. Yeah, that's true. All right. Holy lib energy. Woke is back on the mini baby. What the fuck? I don't believe Disney Plus, Hulu, etc. lost 1.7 million subscribers because of Jimmy Kimmel. Disney Plus was dropped by 3 million US subscribers in September, while 4.1 million canceled Hulu. Oh my God. It turns out liberals do not play around, brother. They do not play around with their Jimmy Kimmel. It turns out, holy moly, that is, wow. Stay woke, don't go broke is right. Oh my God. Go anti-woke and you will go broke. Goddamn. In my experience, the best way to combat riskier propaganda is to lean into the average person's distrust about mainstream media, like they lied about Iraq. You don't think they lie about communism? Yeah, I mean that could be a decent way to do it. But the same goes for socialism, Marxism, communism, all of those things. People, when they hear it, go, ugh, I'm scared of that. I've been conditioned into being scared of that. I've been conditioned into being fearful. I've been conditioned into assuming that, like, it means mass poverty for all. And it's like, no, it just means that you get to take home more pay from what you create at your workplace. It means that you get to have more control over your life. It means more democracy happening at the workplace as well. You like democracy. I like democracy. We all like democracy. And yet we spend 80% of our lives, we spend 80% of our adult lives in a non-democratic structure. Because the workplace is authoritarian. The workplace is outright fascist, really, when you think about it. So that's it. It's just like you can explain to people what this means, depending on what your worldview looks like. Okay? You said we. Oh boy, here come the Clippers. Lamau says you, we. I know. Saw a video of a woman who voted for Trump. Her baby's having issues and his heart rate stopped. Heart rate dropped. She may need to get an abortion. Babies can die in the womb. An abortion removes the baby from the womb. She fell for the misinformation that all abortions are done late term. And now she regrets her vote because she herself may need an abortion. She's forced to birth the dead baby. She herself may very well die as well. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, God. So, conservatives, when everyone knows their culture wars first, progressives win when everyone knows their policies first. Yeah. One thing that I want to stress, the importance on is, did I end up tweeting that thing earlier today? I was planning on, because this is something I've been thinking about quite a bit. Okay. This is something I've been thinking about quite a bit. Oh, I don't think I did. Okay. I didn't end up tweeting it, but we'll talk about Zohran Mamdani as well. But I guess let's get started. Let's move on from this stuff. POV is 2032 and it's Cybertrump's first term. And you're waiting for the bus, and your compatriot that is also waiting for the bus accidentally thinks of an anti-Israeli thought, so a Palantir flesh monster made from immigrants appears from the dark and snatches him away. Yeah, I mean, this is our future that we should be getting ready for.
Cost of living.
Winning, look at that. He gets 47% on taxes. And then crime, he gets the most with 40%. They trust him the most.
When you wearing a durag on stream?
A better job, they say.
I have worn one.
How crazy is that? That a guy that wants to let criminals out, close Rikers Island, have social workers to domestic disputes.
It's actually not the same shirt. It does look identical, though, but it's not. It's a different shirt. I have two of these.
And he gets the best marks on crime.
I think it is totally nutty that Zohran has basically repackaged defunding the police by being like, we got to take some of the toll off of these wonderful law enforcement officers and focus on areas where crime manifests, improve people's material conditions, and also hire a network of social workers to be tasked with dealing with a lot of these like mental health crises as opposed to cops. And people were like, wow, that is a brilliant idea. What a spectacular message. I have never heard this before. No one has ever brought this up. Is he wrong, though? What do you mean? This is the left position. It turns out just describing the process was so much better. I will say a big part of the reason why he has been able to do this is because he just says it how it is. And also, Democrats are too weak to launch a significant opposition against one of the only figures in the party right now that is actually making people excited. Message packaging on the left is so ass. Yeah, I think that's part of the problem for sure. But make no mistake, Republicans make their messages stick because they have a unified front. The Democrats and their left flank are constantly at odds with one another. They are constantly opposing one another. And therefore, there is no unified messaging front. Because if Democrats were like, hey guys, we don't mean like literally abolish the police. We mean that like cops are busy tackling crimes as they're supposed to be. But unfortunately, they can't tackle all the crimes when they're handling domestic disputes, things of that nature. If like establishment Democrats actually described what defund the police meant, I think that there would be a very different approach to it. Now, it's because Democrats at the national level did not want to do any of those things regardless. That's precisely the reason why they were acting scared. They were operating from a scared position. A lot of people at No Kings knew about Zohran Mamdani at our event on Saturday. Hell yeah. This is exactly why defund the police was a bad slogan. If someone disagrees with it, you explain what the slogan means and they agree with you, that just means you had a terrible slogan. No. Here's why that's wrong. Okay? Black Lives Matter. When Black Lives Matter first came out, it was, once again, activist backed. Okay? It was a statement. It was a message that the activists had put together. It wasn't like a focus group tested in the way that like a lot of these Republican narratives are. A lot of these Republican messages are. Having said that, initially when people said Black Lives Matter, a lot of people actually had a negative association with it. A lot of people actually went, oh, well, that just means white lives don't matter. The reason why I'm explaining this is because obviously people understood exactly what BLM means after Donald Trump negatively polarized, Donald Trump basically got Democrats to be negatively polarized against Trump when he was in opposition of BLM. And for a certain period of time, everybody understood, especially during peak woke in 2020, when BLM means, police are disproportionately targeting black people and brown communities, and we need to stop that, right? But leading up to 2020, when you said BLM, everyone would say all lives matter. A lot of people, like Republicans, had counter-messaged against it so aggressively. And because nobody actually defended Black Lives Matter in general, okay, if people heard what BLM meant, they were like, oh, I don't know about this, whatever, right? The reason why that slogan actually then overcame the negative associations was because more people messaged and defended the slogan and said, no, this is what it means. That's it. Slogans are only as effective or only as good as how much people explain what they mean. You can bastardize or you can actually destroy a slogan and a movement if there is no defense for it. Okay? That's it. And the same goes for like defund the police as well. I think people take this like, an immediate negative stance against it because they just like are predisposed with like backing down. Like they're so used to just saying like, oh, we lost this one. Let's just move on. And that's the reason why there are certain slogans that I just don't back down from, like from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. Like they tried to do that. A lot of Zionist advocacy groups still to this day try to make it seem as though from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free is actually a fucking genocidal slogan that means like we have to kill all the Jews or whatever. And I'm like, no, that's not the case. And I will never back down from that because that's not what it means. And the actual intention of bastardizing what that slogan means is specifically so that people can't even protest peacefully against Israel. And the same fucking goes for BLM. They wanted to actually stop people from saying Black Lives Matter, not because they were scared of the slogan itself, but because they wanted to stop you from protesting because they didn't like what you were protesting about. Okay? That's it. Isn't a slogan a device to quickly get a message across? If the slogan only becomes worthwhile once you spend massive energy to correct the misinterpretation it's created, doesn't that defeat the point? It's kind of like Fear and. Fear and is a silly podcast name, is a silly brand name. Everyone at first was like, oh, it's stupid. It doesn't matter. What the fuck do you mean? It doesn't matter. But like, ultimately, if you can overcome that initial hurdle, then everyone will associate it with like actually what it is. Okay? It's unique. That's just how all slogans and sloganeering and all marketing works. That's just how it is. Anyway, a lot of people are still saying, nope, it's still bad. Okay. It gives so much ammo to conservatives, though. Calling it defund the police is just a bad name. I think like having these sorts of back and forth debates is also utterly unproductive in general. Okay? Because a slogan is just something that you say to start the conversation. Okay? And a lot of people, no matter how carefully calculated your slogan is, your opposition will always try to frame it in a negative fashion. Black Lives Matter means all lives don't matter until Black lives also matter because Black lives don't matter right now. Right? Like that's what it meant. And yet people actively bastardized it. That's why I always go back to BLM. But now everybody knows what it means. And now it's gone through its popularity. And now it's actually it's actually now associated with, unfortunately, the national organization, which was somewhat fraudulent. But ultimately, most people still understand what it means when someone says Black Lives Matter, right? Like, for example, the liberal protests, No Kings, okay, created by 5501 that took place this past weekend with 7 million attendees all across thousands of different towns and big cities all around the United States of America. If we were to leave it up to the Republicans, they'll say No Kings means you want America to fucking die. You hate America. And they were actively trying to position against that. They were like, oh, No Kings means you hate America. You hate America. Trump is not a king, so obviously you just want him dead or something. Or whenever people talk about like Antifa. Anyway, keep in mind this is from a Fox News poll. This is inherently biased against Mamdani. Social workers dealing with domestic disputes is that this is crazy. Just describing the process how I got my mom to agree with Bernie Sanders back in 2015. As long as you don't say the words leftist or socialist, you can get conservatives to agree with you on basically anything. Yeah. But there is value, I think. In standing by certain messages and not be afraid to defend them. There are red lines that I personally draw as well. As you guys know, one of the most famous ones is when I refused to concede on, like, from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free, or even globalize the Intifada, which Zoran shouldn't have actually conceded on. I think his initial statement was appropriate and apt. And the reason why I don't do that, the reason why I stand firmly and committed to certain messages, because I know that the oppositional framing on those messages are not about the slogan itself. They're not about the slogan itself at all. And they're about the movement itself. Long-time YouTube watcher, first-time commentator. I'm an active duty service member who also wears a keffiyeh and supported Palestine. I've spoken out against Zionism, the ongoing genocide, the cost of risk of retirement benefits. I've also got my 79-year-old parents that agree with your positions and analysis. Keep up the good work. Hell yeah. Okay. High school might be a travel, but it's a Dirk Joker step back. Don't take these yappers seriously. They don't even travel outside of their bedrooms. True.
You recognize that shot? I hit that hole last year. Hey, pal.
Like, look, his tweens are pretty fucking solid. Like, look at that. Like, that's a solid ass. I mean, he's not like Lud's not eating it, so it doesn't go anywhere. But like, those are some solid. Look. It's easier to dribble when you're 5'3". Yeah, but he's not going anywhere. I know. I'm just saying that like it looks decent. That's a solid ass, but Lud's not eating it. Yes, your tweens, or if you do a tween and it doesn't fucking and your opponent doesn't get baited, then it doesn't mean anything. Okay, then you're just basically doing it for show, which is what a lot of inexperienced basketball players do in general, especially if they have like decent ball handling. They will just like dribble. They'll have like a crazy dribble package for no reason without like actually trying to bait their opponent into putting their hand up or changing their fucking changing their foot positioning. But in any case, like my point is he looks good when he's playing. He looks good. And I think he's gotten better as well, but he just still keeps losing for some reason. Julian Newman. Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, Julian Newman can also fucking cross people up pretty easily. So he's not playing to win is what it looks like. Yeah, like I'm the exact opposite where I think when I play, it looks ugly, but I win. Do you see what I'm saying? And the same goes for Ludwig. When Ludwig plays, it looks ugly, but he wins. And it doesn't really matter. But ultimately, what he needs to get better at is just like finishing. He needs to have that finisher instinct. I guess did he destroy? The streamer called me out, so we put 10K on the line. Did Ludwig win this, or did Jason win it at the end of the day? I don't know what I'm looking at here. Unk ball, nephew ball. Unk ball is better than nephew ball if you actually... Yes. Unk ball is better than nephew ball if you want to win. Chat doesn't look like 22.6K viewers. Maybe you're being botted. Yeah, no, totally. You're right. Chat, all the boss, spam one right now. Yeah. I got them auto boss on lock. How about now? Backed up, caked up. Anyway, I haven't even blasted off yet, so I should do that right now, actually. No King's protest and GOP reaction. Israel violates ceasefire, more bombings. Will the government shutdown last forever? TwitchCon drama, get it now. Let's get it twisted. Let's get it posted. Let's let the people know that we are live and we're alive. One of the chatters keeps asking me what's the best Dr. Pepper flavor. I think cream soda is my favorite. Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar Cream Soda is my favorite. Followed closely by the blackberry one. I've been really consuming the blackberry Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar. I really like it. I don't like strawberry cream soda as much anymore. I go through phases. Sometimes the strawberry cream one I used to really like. I don't really like it as much anymore. I have a cherry one too right now that I'm like drinking every now and then. But it's just coconut Dr. Pepper. I've never had the coconut. I don't know about the coconut. Another Lud clip. What's this?
You wear do-rags?
I've worn many silkies, yeah.
Okay, look. Oh my God. Who taught you about do-rags?
What do you mean, who taught me about do-rags?
What do you need a do-rag for?
My stepfather's black.
Actually?
Yes, I mean...
Cap.
His stepfather is black, but I don't think he wears do-rags. I don't think he's like... I think he's not lying about his stepfather being black, but who maybe he does. I don't know.
Cutie.
That one, right?
Modern animal.
Is his stepdad black?
Yeah.
What's his name?
Peter.
Does he know his dad?
Yeah.
Peter. My fault.
Yes, Peter. It's a biblical name.
To be fair, I don't either. I mean, I get it. I understand why you don't think that looking at Ludwig, but it is true. It is actually 100% true.
He's Jamaican. I could say it. Let me try again. Ask me again.
What ethnicity?
Jamaican. What?
That's okay.
What?
Say Wagwan.
Wagwan.
That's okay. Well, you know, he proved exactly why people don't believe him when he says stuff like that, but it is true regardless. Yes, there is a Louvre heist. I know. We will talk about the Louvre heist, okay? Oui. Ludwig pulling a Chet Hanks. Yeah, unlike Chet, though, Ludwig's stepdad is actually black, and I believe Lud when he says he's Jamaican. Mom, wait, what is this? This clip blew up. Daddy's beating them on crime. Oh, it's so over. Smoke them.
Well, in a Fox News poll, voters were asked, what's the number one problem facing New York City? And the most said crime, 25%.
This is the shocking part when it comes to the people and the candidates that they trust for the best job on.
God damn. Woke is back. Woke is back. Woke is back. Woke is so back. Woke is on the menu, dude. Woke is on the fucking menu. It turns out for the treatlerites, you take their treats away and they will respond. They will respond in a way. The treatlerite vanguard, dude. Oh my Lord. My friend's millennial mom, who's kind of left of lib, canceled her Spotify subscription because it plays ICE ads. Woke is making a comeback. I live in rural Tennessee, by the way. Yeah. Woke is making a comeback. Look at the fucking No Kings protest. That's all woke shit. That's all like 65-year-olds being like, we have to start combating fascism militarily and shit. Sure, there are a lot of like incredible liberal elements within the No Kings protest, for sure. But I'm telling you right now, the boomer coalition the boomer bloc is infinitely more radicalized than you think they are, but they just don't have the mechanism to communicate their anger. They don't have the tools to be able to say like, this is what I want, because of a lifetime of Red Scare propaganda, which is why I said it is silly to cast aside any sort of protest or any sort of movement, mobilization like this and poo-poo it from afar, okay? I'm telling you, there are a lot of people out there who recognize everything that's going on as like completely untenable, completely inappropriate, and abhorrent, okay? Bro, come on, it's a gathering, not a fucking protest. They just want blue team to win so they can get back to the apathetic Twinkie consumption. Be for fucking real. Oh my God. Listen, are there people who just want that? Absolutely. But I don't think you realize how much more the average liberal has moved in the direction of like demanding that they have like a fighter, a democratic socialist or a social democrat in a country where like this was impossible, okay? This was impossible to fathom, especially for boomers. I'm saying if we do not use this momentum to our advantage and take away all of that interest that people clearly have in changing things, into organizing, into developing class consciousness, then what is the alternative? My point is, and has always been, if you build it, people will come, okay? And in the absence of building anything, all you are doing is chirping into the fucking wind. You're not doing anything. You're just saying like, ugh, these guys just fucking suck. You just want to come across like you're right. You are reframing a cynical and nihilistic perspective as real activism, okay? I'm not saying that the No Kings protest ultimately are going to single-handedly change discourse or change the dynamic of this administration. But expressing discontent and mobilizing in this fashion, even if it's for basically a fucking parade, implies that there are people out there who recognize right